Hey, Pete, outside of this game of the century, who's a high-priced option you need to have in your lineup?
So I'm looking at two guys. I'm looking both at the wing position. Their prices have been rising, but they're still not that expensive. So Patrick Laine, 5,400, and then Alex Tuck, who's a little bit more expensive. Tuck has 37 shots on goal in his past 7 games, so extremely high shot volume. He's got a favorable opponent at home against the Ottawa Senators. Signature win the other day alert for the Buffalo Sabres. They beat the New York Islanders. I know the Islanders are on a downward trend, but the Sabres, since the Eichel trade, since they're getting healthy, they're certainly trending upward thanks to the top line of Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, and Jeff Skinner, and also Rasmus Dahlin. I think we've moved forward away from like the Sabres being down in the dumps, and we've moved towards stack territory where you could actually consider logically stacking 2 Buffalo Sabres in your roster. I would personally go Tuck and Rasmus Dahlin on defense. You could certainly do Tuck with one of his line mates at the forward position as well.
Paul, high-priced option you like?
You know what? I have faded McDavid and Draisaitl long enough. They got a really good matchup against Anaheim tonight, so I think I'm going to save the 1,000 and go with Draisaitl among those two guys. I think it's going to be a point tonight for both of them, in fact. Ovechkin against Philadelphia, that looks like also one that's got a lot of meat on the bone. And Kyle Connor is shooting lights out, and nobody's talking about him. He faces Seattle, a very favorable matchup there. So there's a whole bunch of guys that are on fire. Maybe the hottest guy, though, in the past week is Mark Scheifele. He also gets that matchup against Seattle and is only priced at $6,400. I think he's going to be in my lineup for sure.
All right, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything these guys said. The top of the range has all good matchups tonight. I mean, you could make an argument, like Paul said, McDavid or Draisaitl against Anaheim, Ovechkin going up against the Flyers. I love that one. Pasternak, Boston against the Islanders. Like, any number of these guys could really make sense here. I think overall, especially if you're going to go heavy in that Pens-Toronto game, I want to look a little bit further down. And so for me, I think Mika Zibanejad at 7K. I mean, I know 7K is not cheap, but compared to, Matthews, McDavid, and Ovechkin being over 9, it's a pretty good value there. He's only gone more than 1 game this season without a point. He didn't score in their last one, so he's due. And he's facing Detroit, who in the month of February has conceded 4.24 goals per game. Prime matchup to capitalize on the Rangers here, who I think might be able to fly under the radar a little bit when you consider all these other prime matchups at the top of the board.